I was poor and always hungry, barely scraping by with whatever odd jobs I could find. Each day was a struggle, a constant battle against the pangs of hunger and the harsh realities of life. One gloomy afternoon, as raindrops danced on the streets, I sat on a park bench, my stomach rumbling louder than the thunder above. Just then, a woman approached me. Her eyes held a mysterious depth, as if she carried secrets known only to the universe. She smiled kindly and extended a small bag of colorful sweets toward me. "Here, dear, take these. They might not fill your stomach, but they'll sweeten your day," she said in a voice that felt like a warm embrace. Gratitude overwhelmed me as I accepted her offering. Those sweets weren't just sugary treats, they were a glimmer of kindness in a world that often felt cold and unforgiving. Our paths crossed only briefly, but her gesture left an indelible mark on my heart. 2 decades slipped by like sand through my fingers. Life had changed, but memories of my days in poverty lingered. Now, with a stable job and a roof over my head, I found myself walking through the same park on a brisk autumn afternoon. Lost in thoughts, I noticed a figure huddled on a bench, the fabric of her clothes worn thin, and eyes that seemed to hold the weight of the world. As I drew closer, I realized it was her, the woman who had offered me sweets all those years ago. Time had been unkind, casting shadows on her features, but her eyes still held that same mysterious depth. It was as if the years had weathered her body but had been unable to dim the kindness that had shone so brightly in her. Gently, I approached and cleared my throat. Her eyes met mine, and recognition flickered for a moment before she looked away, perhaps embarrassed by her circumstances. "Excuse me," I began tentatively, "but I believe we've met before. You once gave me sweets when I was hungry and poor." Her gaze returned to mine, and a faint smile tugged at the corners of her lips. "Ah, I remember that day. But it was you who gave me something much more precious, a reminder that kindness has the power to transcend time and circumstance." Touched by her words, I realized that life's fortunes may shift like sand dunes, but the ripples of our actions continue to shape the lives of others. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the park, we sat side by side on the bench. Two souls, connected by an act of generosity, embraced the present moment, proving that even in the midst of life's struggles, the sweetness of compassion could endure. And so, the story of an unexpected bond formed on a rainy day, woven through time and circumstance, reminds us that the truest riches lie not in material wealth, but in the connections we make and the kindness we share. As the years rolled on, the woman shared her own tale, a story of resilience and unexpected twists. She had faced challenges that had taken her to the brink, but she spoke with a quiet strength that revealed her ability to find solace in the simplest of moments. Our conversations became a ritual, a chance for us to exchange stories, hopes, and dreams amidst the backdrop of the park where our paths had crossed once before. Over time, a community began to form around us. People who had also experienced the woman's kindness joined our conversations, their stories intertwined with ours. Together, we transformed the park into a haven of shared experiences, where struggles were acknowledged and sorrows were comforted. In this humble gathering, there was an unspoken understanding that life's trials were but chapters in a grand narrative, a narrative woven with the threads of compassion and empathy. We discovered that no matter our circumstances, our stories held the power to uplift, inspire, and heal. As the years continued to pass, the woman's health grew fragile. One chilly winter morning, as frost glistened on the grass, she didn't appear at our usual meeting spot. Concerned, I visited her makeshift home and found her resting peacefully, her spirit having finally embarked on its own journey. The community that had formed around us rallied together to honor her memory. We organized a celebration of her life, sharing stories of how her small act of kindness had touched each of us in profound ways. People who had once been strangers found solace in one another's company, bound by the common thread of the woman's generosity. In the end, the woman's legacy extended far beyond the moments we had shared in the park. Her kindness had become a ripple that had grown into a wave of connection and compassion. The park, once a backdrop for our individual struggles, had transformed into a tapestry of shared experiences, a testament to the enduring impact of a single act of kindness. And so, the story comes full circle, a tale of unexpected connections, the sweetness of compassion, and the enduring power of a single act to shape the course of many lives. As I sit on the park bench, watching the seasons change, I'm reminded that we are all intertwined in a greater narrative, one where every gesture of kindness weaves its own unique thread, binding us to one another in ways we may never fully comprehend. As time went on, the park continued to serve as a gathering place for those who had been touched by the woman's kindness. A small memorial was erected in her honor, a place where people could leave flowers, notes, and tokens of gratitude. The park's atmosphere became a testament to the enduring impact of her actions, an oasis of connection and support in the heart of the city. The community that had formed around the woman's legacy continued to grow, welcoming newcomers who had heard the stories and felt compelled to be a part of something greater. It was as if the woman's spirit lived on through the bonds that had been forged, through the friendships that blossomed amidst the shared reminiscences and the understanding that everyone carried their own burdens. Over time, the park became a hub of positivity, a space where people not only shared their hardships but also celebrated their triumphs. Struggles were met with words of encouragement, and victories were met with cheers of support. It was a place where people learned that they were not alone in their journeys, that there were others who had weathered storms and emerged stronger on the other side. And amidst this collective tapestry of stories, I often found myself reflecting on the twists of fate that had led me to that park bench on that rainy day so long ago. If not for the woman's act of kindness, our lives might never have intersected, and the community that had blossomed might never have come to be. As the years rolled by, the park's legacy expanded beyond its physical borders. Stories of the woman and the community that had formed around her spread far and wide, inspiring others to take small acts of kindness to heart. People started seeking out ways to make a difference in their own communities, to be the source of light in someone else's darkness. And so, the woman's legacy lived on not just in the park or the stories shared there, but in the countless lives that had been touched by her gesture and the ripples of goodness that had spread throughout the world. Her memory was a reminder that even in the face of adversity, a single act of kindness could spark a chain reaction that transformed lives and left an indelible mark on the tapestry of humanity. And there, the story of the woman, the park, and the community it inspired comes to a close, leaving us with a powerful lesson in the potential for kindness to create lasting change, forge connections, and shape the course of our lives. Years turned into decades, and the woman's story became a legend whispered from one generation to the next. The park itself underwent a transformation, evolving into a serene haven dedicated to acts of compassion and unity. It was no longer just a place, it had become a symbol of the human capacity for goodness and the strength that could arise from shared experiences. The community that had formed around the park continued to thrive. It had grown beyond its initial boundaries, now spanning the globe as people from different corners of the world heard of the woman's tale and felt inspired to make their mark. Acts of kindness became a movement, and the woman's name became synonymous with a spirit of generosity and understanding. The park became a hub of activity, a place of workshops, seminars, and gatherings aimed at fostering empathy, nurturing connections, and inspiring change. It hosted events where people shared their own stories of transformation, highlighting how a single instance of compassion had the power to alter the trajectory of a life. In time, a foundation was established in the woman's name. Its mission was to support projects and initiatives that embodied the principles of kindness and community. Scholarships were granted, community gardens were cultivated, and mentorship programs flourished, all in honor of the woman who had once given a hungry soul a bag of sweets. As the years progressed, the woman's legacy took on a life of its own, eclipsing the original moment of kindness that had sparked it all. It had transcended time, becoming an eternal flame that warmed hearts and ignited spirits. People who had never met her felt connected to her spirit, as if she had become a guardian angel watching over them. And in this ever-expanding ripple of goodwill, the woman's story continued to remind us that no act of kindness is ever too small. It's the pebble dropped in the pond that creates ripples that reach the farthest shores. It's the catalyst for change, the spark that ignites a movement, the beacon that guides us through the darkest of times. And so, the woman's legacy lives on, not just as a memory, but as a living testament to the potential within each of us to make a difference. The park remains a sanctuary of shared stories, a place where strangers become friends, and where the echo of a single act of kindness reverberates for generations to come. Decades turned into a century, and the woman's legacy became enshrined in the annals of history. The park had evolved into a sprawling oasis of serenity and connection, a living testament to the potential of human compassion. The original memorial had grown into a magnificent monument, adorned with sculptures depicting acts of kindness and stories of transformation. Generations had come and gone, each leaving their mark on the park and adding new layers to the narrative. People from all walks of life continued to visit, drawn by the allure of a place that held the promise of connection and renewal. The park was a testament to the enduring impact of one woman's selfless act, a reminder that even the simplest gestures could transcend time and circumstance. The foundation established in the woman's name had flourished beyond anyone's expectations. It had become a global force for good, driving impactful change in areas such as education, healthcare, and social justice. Its initiatives touched lives across continents, carrying forth the legacy of kindness that had been ignited by a bag of sweets. In the digital age, the woman's story reached even greater heights. The advent of virtual reality allowed people to step into her world, experiencing the rainy day when our paths first crossed, feeling the weight of the small bag of sweets, and witnessing the transformation that followed. Her story became an interactive narrative that inspired people to cultivate empathy and take action in their own lives. And as time marched forward, the woman's spirit seemed to infuse every corner of the world. Acts of kindness became a way of life for countless individuals, as her story served as a guiding light in times of darkness. The park remained a sanctuary of connection, where people from every corner of the globe converged to share their stories, to find solace, and to rediscover the power of compassion. The woman's name had become synonymous with hope, resilience, and the unwavering belief that each person had the capacity to make a difference. Her legacy had transcended the bounds of mortality, becoming a timeless reminder that the impact of a single act of kindness could echo through generations.